Hi, I'm Jane Sloan. I'm the media librarian at Rutgers Libraries, and I have a couple of goals today with this presentation. One is to reacquaint you with our resources and collections at the Media Center. We have over 12,000 DVDs in the Media Center, and we also have a Mac lab with 12 workstations, and we're doing new things in the Media Center, which moved last year. The other goal is to show you a sample of a potential technical process for incorporating moving image material, moving image quotations into a research paper, so that instructors and professors who wish to engage students who are so interested in moving image material and multimedia in general, that they might wish to replace a little bit of a written research paper with some moving image references. And the libraries, we have designed a very simple process which we can work with an instructor to develop an assignment around. Very simple process, technical, very low-tech process. And here is a sample paper. It's a paper on Roma in the Nazi era. This is just a sample page, so I squished together these two multimedia images in between the writing. It might be advantageous to just require one media image, for instance. But as you can see, this is a PDF file. It can be loaded up into Sakai, and online the moving image does display right within the context of the PDF page. So the professor can in fact read the student's contextual writing and understand the point of this reference within the written page. Then there's this particular reference is from our Visual History Archive for the Shoah Institute. Interviewed several thousand people around the world, and this is one of them who survived Buchenwald, and it's this marvelous interview with this woman, and of which there's just a minute or so here. And then down here in this second example, we have a DVD that we have, a professional documentary made about Roma. And it gives some background, typical background about Roma in the 1930s and 40s in Europe, that a book might provide the same information. But this is, has its own succinctness. And so that's the sample paper. So a student faced with this assignment would have to first find the content. This would be the first challenge to the student, to watch DVDs, videotapes, some of our online collections, our online video, which I'll show you later, and choose just the right quote. It's the same as reading material. It takes time to find that right bit. And then they would outline and rate in our Fordham lab using our Apple Mac workstations. Very simple screen grab of their quote. They would decide what they want and then take it in to the lab or grab it in the lab and use the file to place in a Word file and eventually load up to Sakai. So from the student's viewpoint, first they have to decide the begin and end viewpoints. That's the first challenge for them. Then they capture the screen. Then they create a Word file, leaving enough space for the video frame, because naturally a PDF is not rewritable, so they have to have it all set. They saved a PDF, they open the PDF with the open spaces, and they plop their screens in, their frames, and then they upload to a Sakai course site. For the instructor, you can review and grade online, where the videos play back, or you can work with to review and grade a print copy. You naturally can only watch the video online, but you can in fact, the PDF does print out with a still image on it, so you can in fact grade and print a normal print copy as well. So in order to facilitate this process, we're offering a half-hour class. You bring your class for a half hour to the Fordham Lab, where the students and the instructor learn how to create the video clips, how to capture a PDF file, and how to upload it to Sakai. It's a really bare bones, extremely simple process. Not a lot of time spent learning it. You don't have to edit. You don't have to. It's not a high curve or a steep hill in terms of that. And the students then, in order to complete their assignment, will have ongoing support from the staff in the Fordham Lab. Now, I'd like to just step back and just briefly go over the larger services. What I've described to you is a little piece of what can be done in the lab and in the Media Center with our collections. So just to go back to the finding of content, we have IRIS. All of our materials are in the library catalog IRIS. But we also have new research guides, and there's about a couple hundred of subject lists where students can browse, and this is a typical grouping of them on women's and gender studies, where we have about 20 lists in here of our videos and our DVDs that you can browse and sort of look around and see what we might have. The other thing that we have, which is very exciting, is our new online video collections. We have the American History collection, which is 5,000 pieces, online streaming video, pieces of content. They're all in, again, they're all in IRIS. You can find the titles. We have Ethnographic video online, which is a classic collection of ethnography and anthropology. It's very basic and very comprehensive, and has, for instance, Robert Flaherty's Nanak of the North, and very classic titles. So it's a really excellent collection. We're just going to go into BBC Shakespeare Plays, which we also purchased, and I'll show you one of them, Comedy of Errors, for a brief moment. Here we have the redoubtable Roger Daltrey playing Dromius, a role in Comedy of Errors. And that's an example of our streaming video. We have a few hundred titles right now. And then we go to our lab resources, which are also extremely significant and relatively new. Here is the LibGuide, our research guide for our Fordham Lab. Stacy Carton is our manager. It's now open the hours of all the hours of Douglas Libraries, so students can come in and not only do this bare bone process which we've described, but they can also do a whole range of very sophisticated, high-level audio, video editing, 2D, 3D, Photoshop, down to iPhoto, and video editing and audio editing, including score composing, very sophisticated multimedia software we have available in the lab. We're offering this spring, beginners workshops. These are listed on the lab site, and they're in February, March, and they're basic Mac iLife. They're really for beginners, so people can start to learn these materials and how the software. And then we also offer copying and digitization services. You can come into the lab, you can bring in an LP and make a copy of it. We also have fee services. You can bring in a tape, and we will, for a small fee, make it reformatted into a DVD. And that's what we offer this year at the Media Center and the Sharon Fordham Multimedia Lab.